Hey there friends, Bobby here today. Hey folks, I got this little push mower here that someone gave me because the wheel had actually fell off of it. The frame, as you can see, is actually rusted out to the point that the wheel and the little bracket that it's mounted to just fell right off. So I got this mower running today. I wanted to make sure I didn't have any problems with the engine or anything, and I pulled the plug out, cleaned it, put some fresh gas in it, fired it up. It seems to run pretty good. So folks, in this video today, I'm going to show you how we're going to weld a new plate on here and remount this wheel on here, and we should have a lawnmower that works pretty good. So stay tuned and we'll show you how we get this done. Okay friends, now we've got our lawnmower up here on our little roll around cart so we can work on it at a good level to where we don't have to stoop over. And here's what we got here. We've got this area, you can see where it's rusted out. This is kind of flimsy right here. Now what we're going to do is take our side grinder here with a piece of 60 grit sandpaper on it, and we're going to grind back this paint and find us some good metal here all the way around, and we're going to weld us a new plate in here. And now the piece of metal that we're chosen to weld in here is a piece of 16 gauge steel. I think this piece I have here will actually be big enough. And we'll get this paint ground back, and then we'll show you how we'll shape this piece of metal, fit it in there, and weld it in place. Now friends, you can see that we have our paint ground all the way back to where we have a good surface here to weld to. We're going to try to weld up in this area and across this top edge and right here at this corner. So we got a good surface there to weld at. So we're going to put our piece of metal up here. See if I can do this with one hand. Kind of hard to hold the camera too, but in the area right in here where it goes around the bend, we're actually going to go and just put us a little mark right there, and we'll take this over to the vise now, square it up, and we're going to put us a little bend in here to kind of go around this contour here and kind of shape this thing before we weld it on. So we'll show you that, folks. Okay friends, we went ahead and squared that mark we just made, and we clamped this piece of metal into the vise. And we're just going to reach over here and just kind of pull on it, put a slight bend in this metal, and then we'll take it back over and match it up, and if we have to come back and shape it a little bit more, we will, and we may actually take a hammer and kind of hammer form it a little bit, and then we'll have this thing ready to weld here in just a little bit. Now friends, we have our piece of metal clamped up in place. We got it shaped up, and we hammer formed it a little bit, kind of bent the edges around to where we don't have to really fill in much with the welder. So we're going to get our welder out. We're going to weld this seam up here. We're going to weld across the top and over here and right down this way, and we'll actually probably try to tack some across the bottom too. This metal down here is kind of deteriorated a little bit, but we'll try to get a few tacks there just in case. But I think the main strength, as long as we get this welded good around here, we should have a good surface to mount our wheel on. So stay tuned. Okay friends, we got this plate welded on now, and we went back and wire brushed it and hit it with our grinding disc one more time. We got a pretty good weld all the way around, and now we have our spindle here just clamped back in place. We've done away with the adjuster. What we did is we went on the other side and we saw about the height that the motor was set at, and we're just going to make this wheel where it's not adjustable anymore. So what we're going to do now is go ahead and tack this piece in place, you know, several times all the way around, and we'll be ready to get this thing mowing here shortly. Okay friends, hey, we have our spindle welded in place now, and we got this thing ready to go. We don't have any green paint today, but we have a little bit of black primer. We're just going to shoot a little bit of paint on here so it won't rust anymore. Bolt our wheel on and go mow some grass. So friends, we'll see you in a few minutes in the front yard, and we'll see how this sucker works. Hey friends, as you can see, we got this thing back up and going again. This little lawnmower lives to cut another day. I think we got to do a little bit of work on the throttle, get it to where it throttles up a little bit higher, and we'll have a good little push mower here. Folks, I want to thank you for watching the video today. Don't forget to subscribe, and we will see you next time. Take care.